Aloha! Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, 365 Hawaii Group, Keller Williams, and we are here today with Lance Owens from LUVA Real Estate, who is on the hot seat today.
I'm afraid right now. You guys, okay.
We are.
There was no prepping for this.
Yeah,
So.
we're kind of like playing a game with Lance today. So a lot of people who are considering living in West Hawaii want to kind of know what it's like to actually, live here. And so Lance has been here for how long?
Been on the Big Island 23 years.
Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that's going to be able to tell you what it's like to actually live here. And I'm going to pepper him with a variety of questions to give you guys more insight into what's it like to live here from his perspective. And you're going to probably learn a few things about Lance himself, and he's going to learn some stuff about himself. But also you'll probably get an opportunity to laugh.
Okay.
So we're going to just give him some questions. You guys are going to be able to see kind of like what life is here. So let's start off with... Lance, your friends have come in from the mainland and they want to spend a few days in Kona. Where do you take them?
Like out for the afternoon or evening or something that? Probably the first two places I go to probably are either Huggos on the Rocks or Don's Mai Tai Bar.
Okay, because everyone likes a good Mai Tai when they show up.
Everybody likes good Mai Tai. They want that, and they want that atmosphere. Don's Mai Tai Bar is ocean. Both of those places are oceanfront. They've got the atmosphere, and they got what people, especially when they're coming over in the wintertime. You're sitting out there watching. Typically in the winter, the swells are up, so the waves are interesting. Sometimes I've been at Huggos on the Rocks, and the waves have been splashing in there. So
you get the 3D experience.
Yeah, you get the 3D experience. But usually,
4D.
Both of those places have good Hawaiian music. Typically, Royal Kona Resort, which is where Don's Mai Tai is. But Thursday nights they have great
music
for free.
There you go.
So you want to get there early and get a good seat and be ready for some good Mai Tais.
Okay, so get this. Let's say you don't want to hang out with the visitors. Where do you go for good food that's not hanging out with the visitors?
Boy, good food without dealing with visitors. It's going to probably be combined with my favorite barbecue type place too. So if that was one of the questions, I'll jump up to Waimea and go to Fish and Hog or
that's good.
Or the what's the other place across the street there? I forget.
The Brew House?
Yeah, the Brew House.
Yep,
so those are two places that I'll go. We hit there a lot. If I go up motorcycle riding up on Mauna Kea, things like that, that's a favorite place to go unwind, grab a cold beer, get some good barbecue food, and get away from the tourist sites.
Yes, okay. If you were to go down to a beach and get into the water, where do you go? Do you ever go in the water?
Well, in all fairness, you guys, in the last last 5 years, I've moved up away from the shoreline, so I've become more of a mountain man.
Yeah.
But in the first 13 years, or 15 years, I guess, I would probably have gone. Magic's was my number one go-to place.
Okay.
Probably that. Very rarely did I take a trip down south. Down north. I'm sorry, to Apuna Beach, things like that. So, but I would, and a lot of times I prefer. I'm a wilderness kind of guy. I like to get out. I'm not a guy that's into all the city stuff. So a lot of times we would load up our motorcycles and our side-by-sides and go down to South Point and Green Sands Beach.
There you go. Yeah, it's cool. That's because I did tell our little viewers that when Eric and I first moved here, when we found out that we met some people who said they hadn't been in the ocean in like a year and a half, I'm like, how is it that you moved to Hawaii, you're not in the water for an hour and a half? I mean, a year and a half. And now that we kind of live at elevation, we don't find ourselves down there in the ocean as often. So just so you guys know, that's what happens when you're not actually living next to the coastline. You have a tendency to sometimes just be up here and you look at it.
I look at it.
And you do your life around being up
I used to dive. I used to fit. I mean, I've had 5 different boats here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I was on the water. I was a water person. I wasn't a surfer. I used to dive and kayak and had several boats and a couple of jet skis. And so I spent a ton of time in the water. I mean, I swam and played in the water all the time. And it's just in the last, 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been away from there. It's like, there's some cool stuff. I've missed 30 years because I was on Oahu since 84. So I missed, 30 years of all the other stuff, the interior. Life's more than a beach.
Yeah. Eric and I have like a lot of different hiking things, like going from Mauna Kea, going on take a 4-wheel drive and do different things around the island. Yeah. So let's say that you wake up on a Sunday morning. What's your Sunday morning look like?
Typically, because we're living on 3 acres, it's a lot of maintenance. I am down either fixing a horse trough or water feeder or raking the arena. I'll rake the horse arena probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Yep.
So my Sundays will consist of doing that. There's branches that are blown off trees. I'm picking up that. I'm cutting up firewood. Because we're up at elevation, so I'm in the evenings. I'm in the low 60s up where I'm at. Late at night and early in the morning, I'll be in the mid 50s. So, we have a nice fire pit going, and we'll do that type of thing. So my Sunday will consist of that. Or because we got the horses have the whole property, I only have to mow the lawn about every 3 or 4 months.
Oh, because they're like eating their little
They're
thing.
eating most of it, and they picky, so the weeds finally get big enough that they don't eat, that I have to get out the mower.
Would you say that having land is a lot of work?
It's worth every minute of it. But yes,
okay.
it is. It is.
Because
yeah.
we tell people when they say, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Hawaii Island and get like a couple acres and some fruit trees," we're like, "Oh, be careful what you wish for."
Yeah. So to touch on that, because I always thought we wanted 5 to 10 acres, if not more, right?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you just can't have enough land, right? And so
You can.
we bought 3 acres. Wishing we had bought 5 during that time, and then while we were building, we had to sell our house on a little postage stamp, and we were renting a 5-acre parcel. So now I had 5 acres and 3 acres I had to take care of.
Yeah.
And that was a nightmare. I'm glad I only got 3 acres. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah. So the draw and the fantasy of lots of land is not always what
this
you
is
think
Hawaii. It grows and grows and grows and grows. Things don't stop. So you typically is supposed to be 1 acre per animal, right, for large animal. We had 3 horses, and we lived on 5 acres, and on that 5 acres was a house and a pool and parking. So consider it 4 acres of land, So we had the three horses and a bull, and we had them in there, and they weren't doing their job. I had to pay a guy $450 every month to come and cut, because a mower wouldn't cut it. It used to be a coffee orchard, and it was overgrown in that California grass, and so that stuff you can watch it grow. Some days it'll grow 6 inches a day.
Yeah. When we were out in our house right here, you guys, when it was raining during that time frame, it was raining like I don't know for 2 years straight. This went from like being almost barren to having over 9-foot king grass all the time. Yeah. And it was like, you're right, you can hear it's like in the morning it's just growing.
I should have put my camera on time lapse thing and put it out there for a day, But a realtor can't be without his phone for the whole day.
So I think that's a lifestyle sometimes too of Hawaii, is that you have to understand that you don't get a chance to take a break in the wintertime.
No, there's no break.
And go walk off without having to do your landscaping.
I got to cut the grass. Well, if it wasn't for the horses, but it'd be a monthly thing, and that type of stuff. It's constant.
Yeah.
And real quick on that horse and bull thing, I called up some friends. Kimmy, my wife, called up some friends and had them bring over 3 more horses. So now we had 6 horses there.
Trying to eat it all up.
And they couldn't keep up with California grass. So then I went and I bought, I figured, why not buy 2 wean-offs, right? I mean, I can eat them in 18 months, and they're $4.50 each. So it's the same
Close
price.
your ears, vegans.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. But so now I had 2 bulls and 2 steers, and my wife found a cow on the way home, and so we ended up with a 4th cow. So there's a little baby cow that's been abandoned by its mother. My wife picks it up and throws it in the back of her truck and ties it down and comes home with it. She was
That only happens in Big Island.
Yeah, she was looking for flowers for the parade, and so we called him Squirrel, because you remember that movie Up, right? Where they're looking at the dog just keeps going squirrel. That's my wife. She drives by and sees a cow abandoned, throws it in the bed of her truck, and comes home with it. So.
Yes, you could do that here too. Speaking of animals, you have pets. What are you thinking? Okay, are you taking your pets for walks? Are you out in the world? What are you doing with pets here?
I live on 3 acres, so they just have to run in 3 acres, so I don't take my pets for walks.
Okay, so they just live on the land.
They follow me around. They're at the gate. I don't know how they recognize my vehicle, but they're at the gate, and they run at 20. I've clocked them from my front gate to my front door at 25 miles an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Boston Terrier.
Yeah.
The Dachshund, no way. His little legs. He's not. He's maybe doing 8 miles.
So Lance does not own border collies.
Yeah.
So okay, so it's Monday morning. You have to head downtown. Are you worried about the traffic?
Yes.
Okay. You're heading downtown and out of town at 2:30. Are you worried about the traffic?
2:30, I'm not near as worried about it as I am at 3:30 or 4.
Yeah. So
Or
that's something
at
to consider,
7.
right?
Yeah.
It's Cruise Ship Wednesday. Does that affect your life?
Yes. Some days I like to go down and people watch, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And some days when I got stuff to do, it's like, oh no, it's Wednesday. I'm not going down today. So it's very. I love the people coming off the cruise ships, and we almost opened an office on Lee Drive there. I thought it would have been kind of neat because it would be fun. I do enjoy people. I like meeting new people. I love travel.
Yeah. You certainly meet a lot of here too, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's you're spending time with your son when he was younger. Is there games that he was able to play here?
Games.
Like soccer,
Yeah,
baseball?
yeah. So he was involved in soccer several years, 2 years, I think, and then he was involved in football, I think, 2 years, and then another summer was jujitsu, another summer was karate. It was so yeah, there was things for him to do, and the baseball. Wasn't big at that time. It's kind of in a lull, or I just didn't know about it. I don't know, but the baseball team has really picked up the last year and this year.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of good about the baseball, the youth baseball team.
Okay. Yeah. Have you tried pickleball?
No.
That's a big
Will
one
I try it? No.
That's not his thing.
I didn't know if that was a class.
Where do you go grocery shopping?
My wife makes fun of me, so I'm been here since '84, but I'm still from the mainland, and my wife's born and raised local girl. She goes KTA, and I go to Safeway.
There you go.
So
He gets some good steaks there too, I'm sure.
yeah. And Costco's. I did a huge shopping at Costco.
Okay.
So. I love these questions. Actually, this is kind of fun.
There you go.
I was scared. Hopefully, I didn't
I'll
talk too
get
soon.
ready for it. Worst weather day you ever had?
Worst weather day I ever had. Worst weather day I ever had here.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the windstorm. We've had these 2 windstorms. So I've been here since 1984, and the 2 windstorms we've had in the last year have been worse than any hurricane or anything else I have been in Hawaii since 1984.
Yeah. We had these Kona lows come in.
Yeah.
And just like really, you just kick our butts, right?
Yeah, I mean it knocked down trees on our property and stuff. And on Koloko Drive, there was 4 trees within walking distance of my house that had been blown across Koloko Drive.
I think I saw them because I drove up there afterwards and it was all chopped up and kind of under the road.
On the side of the road. Local people came down from above and cut their way out let people in and out. The county was overwhelmed. I certainly can't fault them for not being there to do that. The county came in the next day and helped with it, but it took the local people to come down the hill.
So for most of the time that you've ever lived in Kona, you have not been wiped out by a hurricane. You have not had a typhoon.
Kona in recorded history has never had a hurricane hit it.
There we go.
Ever.
So that's good for
Yeah.
having to worry. I don't know why they keep telling us to get hurricane insurance though.
Exactly.
Just in case, right?
We haven't been hit with a devastating hurricane since Iniki. So
92.
I was on Oahu for Iniki, and it got windy there, and but it was more damage from the people panicking than from the storm.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice thing too about Kona.
But Kauai got wiped out.
Kauai got bad.
Wiped, devastated.
But
so.
at least that's nice about Kona too, is that we're not going to get on the road with 1 million people trying to escape. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Well, Kimmy ran to the store for us that morning. I didn't even know what was going on. We missed the sirens and everything else. I went to work that morning. I'm like, holy cow, Kimmy, there's something going on here. I said, I turn on the news or do something, and because the street out in front of our condo was packed with cars, and we lived behind Holiday Mart. That was Daiei at that time, Holiday Mart, which is now Target, in Kailua on Oahu at that time. And there was everywhere. So she said, there's a hurricane coming. It switched direction overnight, and it's coming across our tip of the island and then Kauai, and it ended up missing us pretty much. I think it got a little bit of Eva Beach, but people shoved people through the front windows of Holiday Mart. They were just pushing at 6 a.m. waiting for them to open, and people got shoved through the plate glass windows. So
wow.
It was nuts.
That never happens in Kona.
No, that doesn't
They
happen
might snag
here.
your favorite beer down at the old, cooler,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay, so you are thinking about getting a really good hamburger. Where do you go?
Like if I'm hungry for a really, really good hamburger, it would be that local hamburger place down there across the street from Target, and I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Ultimate Burger.
Ultimate Burger.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yep. They got a really good burger.
Okay.
That's where I'd go.
You want some craft beer. Where do you go?
Kai's right now has a whole load of beer. It's amazing what they have. I mean, they got so many things on tap. It's crazy. But if it's not them, it's either Ola or Kona Brew.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been more Ola. It's been more Ola the last couple of years.
Yeah, you like Ola?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the natural one that we have here.
Yeah.
You are deciding that, and I know that this is not your realm of like woohoo, but you're deciding to go to a festival or a special event in Kona. Which one do you go to?
Kona Brew Fest.
Ah, there we go. There we go. He likes the beer. There, Kona Brew Fest is happening in March. You are enjoying flowers. What's your favorite plant?
I would go up Coloco Drive in our side-by-side and go in the gingers just growing all over the place. We'll cut down about 20 or 30 of them and bring them back and feed them to the horses, and we'll keep the good ones for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You are thinking that maybe the best vehicle to own on the Hawaii Island is a
truck. By far, a four-wheel drive truck. Don't think of anything else. That would be your first vehicle. If you need a car, that would be your second vehicle.
Your first car, your second one. Okay.
Yeah. Your first car is your second vehicle. Okay.
I love it. You are given 8 hours to do something really fun on this island. What do you do?
By myself or with company?
By yourself.
Go fishing.
Yeah? Where do you go fishing?
My favorite place to head out of is Honokahau Harbor. You got multiple ramps there, and I would head out from there. And depending on what time of season it is, if the Ono are running, I'm going to stay close to here. Maybe even go all the way down the coast to maybe run down to Kona Paradise or Milili'i.
And get
Ono. Ono's a big one.
Have you ever gotten a nahi before?
Yeah, I've gotten ahi before. Never the big ones. I'm a fisherman. I'm not a catcherman. So I do good at fishing. I enjoy it. I've scored some big ones, and the first thing I do is I bought my own boat because I got tired of getting up at 5 in the morning to go meet friends on their boats because we never caught a fish before 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, why are we out?
Oh, at the crack of dawn.
And in Kona, it's a mile deep, a mile offshore. So it's not like you might be in Florida or California where you got to go way out, and I can understand that. They've moved here with that mentality. But my favorite time was, because I was a realtor, I could just go do what I wanted when I wanted. Many times I would wake up in the morning and something would cancel or something. I would go on my boat fishing alone.
Oh.
And just to be out in the water. Yeah. And I would, one time I didn't get in the water till 10. At 10:30, I had a double hookup of Ono. I had them both in the boat by myself. By 11:15, 11:30, I was back pulling my boat out at noon, and I was back home cleaning fish at 1. So that's fishing. That's, you go out at 10 and come home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so best time of year?
Best time of year? Spring.
Why?
You're just coming out of the coolness. It's 5 degrees colder than it is in the summer. And you're coming into, you might still catch the whales at the end of their season. The waves are typically pretty mellow, even though they're always mellow here typically. And the weather's a little bit more enjoyable.
Okay. A little less humidity.
Yep.
Yep. Good time to be here.
Yeah.
You are a first-time home buyer. Do they have a shot?
Very difficult here. If I was a first-time home buyer coming in right now, personally myself, I think I would be looking in Ocean View is where I would probably be. Just because you can still get things. I looked at a couple of homes last week out there with clients for $400 to $450. And you're in Lava Zone 2. You're on water catchment. It's got its negatives. I lived on water catchment for a year. It's no big deal. You can order water quicker out there than you could order a pizza.
Hey, that's nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
You are a retiree, and you spent your entire life thinking you want to move to Hawaii Island. Where do you live?
I would live in Kona where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down near the water in a condo or up a higher elevation in a single family home?
Okay, I'm a dumbass because I turned 60 and moved up the hill and got 3 acres. I should be in a
exhausted.
condo without horses and without all the animals and everything else. But condo life's not for me, so I would probably be. It's funny, the place that we raised our kid in for 18 years, Kamani Trees, is great. They're little 5,000 square foot lots. Power lines are, it's all underground utilities. Small lots, you can just deck them out and rock and not have yard work. And you're in the middle of town, so you're close to everything. And even though they're called CPR condos, they're single family homes. You do have CC&Rs, so you don't have a bunch of junk going in down there, but they're not too strict.
There you go.
I think that would be better than a condo for me, because I could park my boat there or my truck and my side-by-side things, as long as they're on concrete.
You're set.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and I see my husband's doing this. Okay, one thing is, what's your favorite thing about living in West Hawaii?
The lifestyle. I mean, it's just the moment you step off the plane, you just know you're back home. And I've lived on Oahu. I've lived in New York City. I was raised in Las Vegas. I moved to Missouri for a while. There's no place when you come off that plane. The air's different. The people are different. The feeling's different. It's just you can't explain it. Either you feel it or you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people say that they do feel like they're home when they're here, and they cry when they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a good chance to kind of get a little bit more insight into who you are, and also a little bit more into what to do here, especially if you are living at elevation on land, which is a total different lifestyle experience than if you're in a condo down next to the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
So
fire pits, fires in the
fire
evening.
pits are great. We have a fire pit. Yeah. So if you are thinking about moving to Hawaii, and especially Big Island, West Hawaii in particular, Lance obviously sells real estate, and we do as well. And if you want to learn more about life here, you go to 365hawaiiliving.com and join our ohana. And we do monthly updates with what's happening with the West Hawaii real estate market with Lance, who had been the past president of the West Hawaii Association of Realtors and currently the first vice president of the Hawaii Association of Realtors.
Thank you.
So we get a chance to talk to him about what's happening with legislation and different things that are happening on topics that affect home ownership on this island. So we'll do some more of those videos as well. And thank you very much for joining us and giving us your insight.
Wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Thank you.
Okay, aloha.
All right, you guys. Aloha.